A strong relationship between grandparents and their grandkids aren't just good for adults, children benefit too. But in the age of the digital world, technology can present challenges for young and old. For some tips on making the best connection, let's bring in our parenting expert, Claire Orange. Hello again, Claire.
Hi, Tracy.
Children are digital natives while grandparents are not. How important is it to bridge that generational gap?
Oh, it's really important for our kids and our grandparents. We know there's great health benefits for our grandparents being involved with their grandkids, and certainly there's great benefits for our kids having the safety of their grandparents kind of looking over the shoulder and being the voice of wisdom, you know, in real life and on their online life.
And how do we find the right tool to stay connected?
Yeah, and I think this is
There's
probably
so much out there.
There is, and I think, you know, that the clip that showed the grandma being a bit overwhelmed before, you know, I think we have to remember with our you know, grandparents out there that sometimes little phones and little screens and things passing across it might not be their thing. So if we're going to get our grandparents involved and it's going to be an active communication, is finding the right hardware and then finding ways to make it easy, you know, voice related apps that might take away from having to do the texting that takes, you know, anyone after 40 a very long time to get right.
Yeah, the one finger typing.
Yes.
I've seen it happen many times.
It's very slow.
One of the best bits of technology is its ability to conquer the great physical divide as well.
Yeah, it is, because we've got families, you know, I'm a family that's come to Australia to live, and, you know, my family, lots of my family are overseas, so for lots of grandparents, their families have moved to this wonderful land and they still want to stay connected. So our social media apps where, you know, there's pictures and stories, that level of connection is so healthy. We can't demonise everything about this digital world of our kids. It's got lots of benefits.
No, as you said, and you said we were talking about being overwhelmed by technology, not just for old but for also young, but it's so important to focus on the actual process of getting there before focusing on the result, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And you know, for some grandparents out there, they're just going to be shaking their heads because it's a difficult world to engage in. You know, I think as a parent, knowing how to navigate Snapchat and Instagram, it's pretty tough. You know, you can nail Facebook, that's pretty easy. The rest is pretty tough. But for grandparents, there's so many other ways. You know, the good old writing a letter, reading a book, being there, cooking a meal together. If you can't do it in the online world, still keep up that offline present in your grandchildren's life, because it's essential. It's really essential.
It's so important to keep those old school things around, and it's so lovely to have as well, especially for the kids these days. There's so much screen time for them. So very, very important advice, Claire Orange.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks very much. See you next time.